Hello, in this academic skills video, learn how to write an effective report that has a clear message. When it comes to writing your report, focus on setting up your key message in the introduction, developing your key message through your sections and topic sentences, supporting your ideas with good evidence, and summarizing your findings in concluding sentences and your conclusion. The executive summary should provide a concise and clear overview of the entire report. So make sure all the important information is in there, including a brief outline of the context and aim, an outline of the main findings, your key message, and recommendations. Here's an executive summary example from a business report. Note how it contains the key elements, including the key message and recommendations in the final paragraph. Here the student declares that profitability could be improved by introducing an incentive-based wage scheme and reducing other expenses. The student goes on to make other specific recommendations. This executive summary of a KEX business plan also conveys the key information that you would expect to have in the executive summary for this type of report. Note that the key message is also contained in the last paragraph. Introductions can be very short and succinct. The introduction should provide readers with important background or context for understanding the problem the report addresses. It should outline the aim, scope, and limitations of the report, as well as allow the reader to know your key message and provide an outline of your supporting reasons. For example, the ABC recruitment introduction is quite short. It contains only 3 sentences, but the sentences covers all the points expected in a good introduction. Your introduction should not just repeat the terms of the question, so avoid sentences like, "This report will examine the financial strengths and weaknesses of ABC recruitment and recommend what actions the company management should take." In this introduction to a KEX research report, the student begins by introducing the broad topic, nanofibrous materials. The first sentence explains what it is, and in the second, why the material is important to a range of areas and hence of research interests, in sentence 3. The student has identified the issue of how the material is manufactured, and there are several processes. The student has singled out the process of electrospinning to focus the report on. Note that the student has chosen to state the aims of the report last. The student could have instead shifted the report aims to earlier after introducing the different processes, then explain the potential of electrospinning, but ultimately conclude that electrospinning is not yet a perfect technique and that more research is needed on various issues. If your report requires you to review the literature on your topic, like the KEX research report, make sure you go beyond the first, that is, using the literature to explain the problem and provide context or background theory. Indeed, most students are good at the first. However, you must do more than simply describe or summarize the literature to do well. Show your critical thinking by critically evaluating the literature, identifying gaps, problems, issues, or limitations, and demonstrating where your work fits in. It's important that you justify the conclusions that you can logically arrive at for your project based on your understanding of the key developments and issues on your topic from your research. You may integrate the literature in the relevant sections of your report or have a separate section in the body of your report. Once you have established the key message of your report in the introduction, the body of your report develops that argument or key message by presenting your key findings and reasons that justify your recommendations. The persuasiveness of your argument will depend on the supporting evidence you provide, so make sure to keep the discussion concise by using appendices and to refer to an appendix in your report if appropriate. For example, the liquidity of the firm is in decline, brackets, see Appendix A, close brackets. The best way to organize the body of your report is to break your report into major points. These are your sections and subsections. For each section or subsection, break the argument of the section again into points. These become your paragraphs. Paragraphs have a structure that helps to carry the line of argument or the key message. Each paragraph should contain one main idea. It develops that idea in 3 parts, with a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a concluding or linking sentence. Topic sentences map the structure you've planned. Topic sentences should indicate the key point and argument of the paragraph, and they don't usually contain quotes or references. Students encounter problems when they start with the evidence and skip the topic sentence, or give all the evidence and then conclude with the point. Topic sentences are very, very important. So when writing, start with the topic sentence and fill in, or write and then edit for the topic sentence. Here's another way at looking at the paragraph structure. Note that the supporting sentences present the evidence that support your arguments or analysis. It's important to make clear the point of your evidence. Explain to the reader how it supports your argument. The line of argument should be apparent and developed at the topic sentence level. So use your topic sentences to help you to work out an outline for your report. Reading the topic sentences alone should guide the reader through the logic of your argument. In this example, you can see that the student goes on, at the topic sentence level, to develop the ideas outlined in their introduction to the profitability section in the same order. The first topic sentence will develop the idea that the company's current net profit is low, and the following topic sentences outline the argument for how profitability can be increased. Make sure to develop each idea and provide supporting evidence, which will come from your analysis, data computations, and sources from your research. Think about how best to present your results. For example, are you going to present your results in percentages, ratios, tables, charts, etc.? Also make it clear where the data came from by providing a citation. You are also likely to need to incorporate evidence from other scholars' research into your work to support your analysis and arguments. And you can incorporate sources into your writing by summarizing, paraphrasing, quoting, and synthesizing from your sources. If you do so, you must always include appropriate acknowledgement of the original source. For more information, see our resource on using sources. In this sample paragraph, note how the student integrates the results of their analysis in percentage form, as well as a 2014 source from French and others to develop their argument. Business reports typically conclude by indicating what was found and provide detailed recommendations, and often also include the limitations, but this can differ from one report to another. Here's another example, this time from the KEX business plan assignment. Note, though, that this conclusion does not include limitations, but emphasizes the potential of power blocks as a product in the power board market for specific reasons. The final sentence makes it clear what the next step is to turn power blocks from a concept to reality. Make sure to leave time to edit and proofread your work to increase its overall quality and accuracy. When editing, it's best to focus on one level at a time, moving from the macro to the micro issues. So moving from argument, then structure, paragraphing, followed by expression. Good reports are work of a professional standard. It's important that readers are focused on your analysis and arguments and are not distracted by mistakes that could have been easily fixed during the editing and proofreading process. So it's a good idea to proofread your work, check the referencing, format consistently, and label your appendices and refer to them correctly in the body of your work. For some of you, you may also have to write a reflection about key aspects of the project, what you found useful, challenging, for example. Or if your report was a group assignment, you could be asked to reflect on the experience of working in a team to achieve a shared goal, including how well you felt you communicated with other members, what worked and what could have worked better. The purpose of writing reflectively about your experience is so that you can gain important insights about the experience. What have you learned that will help you to develop your skills and deal with similar situations better in future? Reflective writing is key to the learning process. The idea is that you only learn from your experience if you are able to reflect on what it all means for you. Reflective writing is therefore not just a summary of everything that you've learnt or found challenging. This is descriptive writing. Reflective writing is all about you, your thoughts, your feelings and experiences, so use the personal pronoun, such as I, me, and my. It requires deep insights into your strengths, development, and areas for improvement, and requires you to process what it is that you are learning and how. Writing reflectively provides an opportunity to think about what you already know about something and to question current thinking. You must argue why your key learning insight is significant, so be forward-looking. What are the implications of your new insight for future practice? It's important that you don't just assert learning. You must provide specific evidence or examples of your learning. To help you to come up with a key message and to structure your reflection, you could follow the following reflective process. For more tips, visit our page on reflective writing. The ability to work successfully in teams is an important skill at university and valued in workplaces. Planning and managing how you communicate and work together and reflecting on how well things are going are key to successful group work. So work together to agree on your goals for the report. Ensure that you understand the tasks and decide whether you need to assign roles, like whether you need a team leader, how often you will meet up, how you would divvy up the tasks. These decisions should be made in the planning early phase. It's important that you don't assume that everyone has to contribute in the same way. If some people have unique skills, use them. Often things go wrong. For example, team members may be confused about their role because of poor communication. It's important to communicate regularly with each other and to plan for things to go wrong. This way, your team will have time to make changes to improve the situation. You also need time to produce a stylistically and argumentatively coherent report. If you are new to group work or would like more tips for working effectively in groups, see our resource on group work. Thanks for watching. Remember, write to persuade your reader of your analysis and recommendations. If you would like us to cast our critical eye on your work and give you constructive feedback, make an appointment today.